Would you like to tell them how you feel about having another baby?
Stoked, blessed.
Wasn't it such a surprise?
Yes.
A shock.
Awesome shock.
Yeah, we're really excited.
I still can't believe it.
I know. You guys, can you believe that I'm filming this right now? I am freaking pregnant. All natural. Natural pregnancy, you guys. My first pregnancy update for baby number 2. Yay! Okay, you guys, so if you saw my, first, welcome back to my channel. I'm obviously excited to be here today. If you saw my live pregnancy test, you'll know that this pregnancy was kind of a shock. Like, we had tried, it was our first time trying, but anybody new around here, I'll try to make this quick. I'll get right into the symptoms, just hold on. We had PCOS, I have PCOS. We did fertility treatments the first time around. It was a hard road to getting pregnant, and I got pregnant the first time we tried naturally for baby number 2. So I don't know when you guys are gonna see this. We announced really early the first time around because everyone like knew when our IUI was. This time it was such a surprise, nobody knows. I don't know when you're gonna see this, but today is November 8th and I am going to be 5 weeks pregnant either tomorrow or the next day. I don't know exactly yet. I haven't had an ultrasound. And the way I did my pregnancy updates last time was I would do them. So like this is 0 through 4, so I go like through the weeks. So I'm almost finished with week 4. I thought it would be fun for me to watch my pregnancy update from my last pregnancy before I film this one so that I can talk about how they compare. If you guys wanna watch 0 to 4 week update from my first pregnancy, I'll link it down below. It's my highest viewed video of all time. And let's just say that this pregnancy is so different, you guys, which is kind of cool. So you can watch 2 videos and see how things can differ pregnancy to pregnancy, which is part of the reason why I was so shocked, because I was expecting to feel the same way I felt the first time around and I didn't. So I won't leave you hanging any longer. Let's just jump right into the symptoms. So pre-positive test. First, let me just say, you guys, anyone who's been around, you'll know that I found out we were pregnant with baby number 1 when there was huge fires in our county. I got pregnant on fires again. We were evacuated this time, and I was pregnant while evacuated and didn't know it. And I tested the day after we got home. So apparently my pregnancies are incredibly bad luck. So anyways, the pre-positive test symptoms were so different this time, you guys. I only had one. The only symptom I had was I was very dizzy. And I didn't think much of it because honestly, I thought it was from either the stress or the smoke because there was wildfires in our home. We came home and it was like really smoky and I thought that that's what it was. I had dizziness in my pregnancy last time, but not in the very beginning. So I was looking for symptoms in my last pregnancy. Last time I was having a lot of cramping, like it felt like I was gonna start my period. I will say I had some twinges here and there. I had like little cramps like before my positive test, but it wasn't anything like I was like, oh, it feels like I'm gonna start my period. I'm just like so hyper aware of everything that happens because I'm always like on the lookout for like ovulation symptoms, and I feel like I'm just very aware. And I feel things there, like even when I'm not getting my period or not ovulating and whatever, I'm not pregnant. So I had some like little twinges here and there, but didn't think anything of it. Whereas last time I had like full on cramping and I was getting these weird cramps when I would like move quickly. I would get like a really strong cramp. That didn't happen this time. Last time my boobs were super sore before the positive test. That didn't happen this time. Last time my skin was like super clear before the positive test, which I've had the opposite problem this time. So I'm telling you guys, this time around was nothing like last time, and I was expecting it to be like it was the first time. So I was so surprised when I got the positive pregnancy test. So pre-test, literally the only symptom I will say I had was dizziness. The first time around I tested on exactly 14 DPO. This time I tested on 12 or 13, since I don't know exactly what day I ovulated. It's a guesstimate based on when I had a positive ovulation test, which I'm gonna get a little bit more into that whole thing towards the end of the video. I just, based on the feedback in my first video, people wanna hear the symptoms up front, so that's what I'm doing. After I got the positive test, I did start to get some more symptoms. So these are some things to maybe look out for before your positive test. Mine just came a little bit later, so really into my 4th week. My nipples started to get sore, which is one of the things that was the first symptoms I noticed the first time around. This time it started with my nipples. I think last time it started with my boobs. My nipples started to get sore, and now, almost 5 weeks pregnant, my boobs are sore, but it's not as bad as the first time around. So that happened. The dizziness has continued. I've been dizzy pretty much every day. And then another really big one is my hunger. Like, I am so hungry. I will finish eating lunch and I will be hungry 15 minutes later. It's like the hunger is crazy. And I know I got this in my last pregnancy as well, but again, I think it was a little bit later. So this time it happened like pretty much right away. I am so hungry. And then, like I mentioned, my skin. I dealt with a lot of cystic acne because of my PCOS before my first pregnancy. And like one of my first symptoms was that my skin was like the best it had ever been. Well, post-pregnancy, my skin has been so much better than it was pre-pregnancy. I've switched to like a much more natural skincare routine, and like, I don't know if it's hormones or what, but my skin has been so good, and my skin has been breaking out. Like here, I have all these little pimples up here, and like, I don't know if you can see in my forehead. You can't, it's not focusing, but there's a bunch of little ones all over my forehead. So that is very different than last time. I did get some acne in my pregnancy last time, but it was just for a short period of time and it was later. Whereas this time, it's right from the beginning, which they say acne is a girl thing, those old wives' tales. I have a boy, for anyone who's new around here. I had a feeling he was a boy from the very beginning, and I feel like this one is a girl. So we'll have to see. So the only thing that was really consistent with something I mentioned in my first update is my cravings. So in the first one, I said how much I was loving olives and like salty things, and that's the exact same again. So I've been loving olives. I've been loving salt and vinegar chips, which was like a big craving my first pregnancy. String cheese, because it's like salty, it's so good. And in the last update, I said how I like wanted nothing to do with sugar. Same goes again. Like I normally eat ice cream every single night, you guys, and I haven't touched any ice cream since I came home from being evacuated, which was the day before I found out I was pregnant. So it's been a little over a week now, and I have not touched ice cream, which is so weird for me because I'm like the biggest sweet tooth. But I go full salt in the beginning of my pregnancy. Last time, the 3rd trimester, it all changed. I was like ready for sugar. But that is the one thing that has been very consistent with my first pregnancy, is it's all the salty things. Like, give me all the salt and vinegar chips. Oh, one other thing I forgot is I realized one of the first things I actually noticed after my positive pregnancy test was my sense of smell. There was one instance where I walked into my parents' house and I was like, you made eggs. It was so strong and the egg smelled so gross. And I haven't really had that happen again, but that one egg was like, oh my God, it was so nasty and I could smell it so much. So that was an interesting. Okay, so now let's talk about finding out I was pregnant. So you guys probably watched the video, but in case you didn't, I haven't had a regular cycle postpartum. Pre-pregnancy, I had 2 natural cycles in 2 years. So that's like, I never got a period, you guys. And I got a period around 15 months postpartum this time. And I feel like a lot of it has to do with like this essential oil I was using. I talked about it in another video. It's a natural form of progesterone. I swear that that thing is what got me pregnant, you guys. Other people say this too that use it. It is like oily babies are made, they say, with that oil. And I can attest to it. So I got a period, and then I didn't get one again on time. And I was due right around the time I ovulated. I talked about this. Oh yeah, I made a video saying we were gonna start the fertility process. We were gonna go see a new doctor. I hadn't got my period yet. Like, I was right to be due to have the 3rd period and I hadn't had a 2nd. Well, that's right when I ovulated. So I noted some symptoms that were happening and I said, hey, I better take an ovulation test. And it was positive. And so we said, hey, we're gonna try this thing. And we tried. So it was my second cycle, first time trying, and I got pregnant. And I canceled that appointment. Like, I found out I was pregnant a little less than a week before we were due to have the fertility consult. So I know that people are gonna probably be like, what happened? Because I posted that video that we were starting the process and then like it goes blank. I feel like a few people will catch on. But yeah, so I took an ovulation test. I just so happened to catch it. Thankfully I did. I noticed some symptoms and we tried and we got pregnant. So I have had a doctor's appointment because I had some things to discuss with them. So like, for example, I was put on progesterone last time when I was pregnant because that was just like protocol for when you got an IUI through my fertility clinic. And so I wanted to ask about that, about being put on progesterone, because progesterone helps the babies stay stuck. And I really didn't want to go on another synthetic form because the synthetic forms have just been, I'm not gonna get into it. Like, you guys know nowadays I'm like crunchy and non-toxic and all that. And I just didn't want to be put on a synthetic form of progesterone. I had been using this natural form through this essential oil blend called Progestins Plus. And I wanted to ask my midwife if I could continue doing that. And I thought she would look at me like I had like 3 heads. But she had a midwife's assistant with her who was like, oh, Young Living, yeah. And they were like all about it, totally on board with me continuing to do that. So I am continuing to do that until they tell me to stop. So I'm continuing to use my natural form of progesterone, which is amazing. I'm excited to do that instead of the synthetic form this time. I also had to ask about my thyroid because I do have hypothyroidism. It's important to get that tested. So I got some lab work for that. And then I also wanted to get the HCG test just to ease my mind because I'm an anxious person. And I just got the results back for that today. So my first, because you do it 48 hours apart. So my first one, the results came back in the 600 range, which a positive is they want to see over 50. Mine was in the 600. And then they want to see it about double 48 hours later, and it was like 1100. It was like just below 1200. So that looks great. Those numbers were really consistent with what my pregnancy was last time, pretty close. So I got those labs done and that all looks good, which is so exciting. And so now we just have to hope for a sticky baby. So far, things are looking great. I'm feeling pretty good. Like, I'm tired. Like, I'm always tired though because I have a 1.5-year-old, so I don't know if it's pregnancy or just life. So I have an ultrasound at 6 weeks. So that's a little more than a week from when I'm filming this. And I cannot wait to see this baby. Oh yeah, just to touch on, so in the test video, I was like so shocked and like terrified. And it was like, oh my God, you guys are probably like, were you even excited? I was very excited, but I was so scared. But that quickly changed. After I told Ben, especially, keeping that secret overnight was like the worst. I told Ben, and like once it felt more real after telling him, like, we're so excited. I'm so excited to do this again. It was just kind of like, holy cow, I can't believe how fast it happened. So I haven't had the doctor confirm yet, but like based on when I think I ovulated, it's gonna be like a July 11th-ish birthday. Mine's the 8th, so hopefully we don't have the same birthday. And I think that's everything. I just cannot believe that we're doing this again. I know people were looking forward to fertility videos, but hopefully you're okay with having surpassed those and gone straight to pregnancy, because obviously that's a much more ideal situation. And I hope you guys will enjoy this series. Last time around, 5 weeks was when I got hit with the exhaustion and the nausea. So I'm really not looking forward to that. Hopefully it won't be too bad this time. It wasn't horrible last time. I never threw up, but I had such bad, like, all day nausea. So, would you like to tell them how you feel about having another baby? This is a pregnancy video, which I don't know when it's gonna go up, but...
Stoked. Blessed.
Wasn't it such a surprise?
Yes.
A shock.
Awesome shock.
Yeah, we're really excited.
I still can't believe it.
I know. Well, it still doesn't. We've only known for a week.
Can't wait to love another kid so much.
I hope. I'm nervous about being able to love one as much, but I know every mom goes through that. So anyways, that was everything for this update. That's gonna be the end of it. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Do you want to be in my thumbnail?
Huh?
Do you want to be in my thumbnail?
Sure.
Okay, come on. I'm starving. I'm gonna have to eat some chips. Look at the camera.